Let me just get all the cringiness out of the way. Skibidi, Ohio toilet. We are here today. Close.
No, yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Honestly, I've just been working on my mewing all day. I still don't know what that means, but.
Okay.
All right, so the cringe is out of the way. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, glad to have him. All right, so tell me a little bit. How did you get into this? Like, first of all, Georgie, what an iconic role to play. I mean,
Yeah.
especially coming out of the gate. But where does your origin story start when it comes to acting?
Well, it all started back where I live, Arizona, and I told my mom, I was like, hey, I really, really want to act. Like, I really want to do this. This is something I want to do. And keep in mind, this was when I was 5 years old. My mom was like, I don't know about that one, Jackson. Like, I don't want to have the stereotype of being a stage mom, caring about her kid, about acting and stuff. She wanted to care for me as a real mom, and help me in school and stuff. Which she did. She did such a great job raising me, my dad too. But when it came to that stuff, she was like, "You're 5 years old." And then my grandpa was actually like, "I think you should really, really give it a shot." So my mom, convinced by my grandpa, was like, "Okay, we'll go to an acting camp called CGTV." Such a fun experience. I had a great time, and I will always remember that. And then through CGTV, I learned so much about acting, and then I got set up with a agent and manager through this play that they did, but it was for agencies.
Right.
So it was so perfect because through this camp, if you really shined with your acting ability, it wasn't a play for regular people. It was all agents and managers. So that's how I got called. They were like, "Hey, we'd really like to represent you," and being like, "Oh yeah, sweet," and so
The voice is the best part of that.
So we finally got set up with an agent and manager, and then through them we got my first ever role was a K Jewelers commercial. And I was on a tricycle. And I was making beep beep noises and stuff, The second one, I was on a Criminal Minds episode called Outlaw.
Nice.
Very, very awesome. And that was my second thing I ever did. And the third thing, believe it or not, was it.
Come on.
So yeah, pretty big jumps here. But I'm just so blessed. I really, really loved everyone on that set. Andy and Barbara, so kind, really amazing people, and Andy by far is my favorite director of all time. He really has done so much for me, and he has always been a kind person. I haven't seen him in a while. I hope I get to see him soon because he's such a sweet guy. And Barbara too, his sister, which I miss too very, very much. And it could be anyone. I just had a reunion with the It Kids not that long ago in Charleston. That was amazing. I got to see them again after a while. They were all super surprised how old I got. And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And what funny was, I was actually kind of taller than some of them, which was insane. Because the last time I remember, I was so much shorter than them. And I'm not talking about filming. I'm talking about because we went to Comic-Cons together.
Right.
But it was a while. It was a while since I saw them. And it was so fun to see them all again. And another guy, Ben Perkins, the acting coach on it, also helped me perfect my craft so much. And I give a lot of praise to him. I should give more praise, honestly. He has helped me so much, especially with that role. And I'll forever be grateful for that experience as a whole. That really just set the tone of how I should present myself when I'm acting and stuff. Really test my abilities at such a young age.
Yeah, how old were you when you booked that role?
I was 7.
You were 7 years old when you
Yes.
booked that role. So let me ask you, as a 7-year-old kid playing Georgie in one of the scariest anthologies of all time, when you're on the set, were there points where you were like, oh my God, I'm scared right now? Because you're 7 years old, but when you're an actor and you're there, it's
Sure.
not scary.
No, yeah.
As a kid, it might be.
Yeah, no, I get this question all the time, and it's rightfully asked. I mean, it is a horror movie, and it is very scary to a lot of people's opinions. Some people actually told me that it was funny, which I thought was interesting. But, you know, when you're at that age, so much happens behind the scenes, and everyone, it felt like a family on
Right.
it. You know, it wasn't like, it didn't feel like work, but more, or at least to me it didn't, and I'm sure all the other cast, it felt like a family. And that's why it was so special, and it showed on
Yeah.
screen, you know. The Losers kids, they were all so kind to me during filming, and even though I was so little, and I can only imagine, you know, trying to incorporate a 7-year-old into your, you know, friend group, because they literally were a friend group.
Right.
They filmed for God knows how long. You know, and I really appreciate them because, you know, they didn't have to do that,
Right.
but they did. And I really, really will also be forever grateful for them just being so kind, especially because of how young I was.
Right.
You know? But, you know, especially with Pennywise, you know, Bill Skarsgård, a lot of people asked me if I was scared of him. But in the reality, it was more like he wasn't trying to scare me because I was so little. But the other kids, the 8 kids, he was actually trying to scare because they were old enough.
Right, right.
Like, they were all teenagers, and I've already met Bill behind, not like in makeup. The first time I saw him was the scene, the sewer scene, when I was looking in the sewer. That was the very first time I saw him. But I wasn't really scared of him because it was more like, you know, I was just seeing him again, but just in a different light, of course. And at the time, it's very important for every child actor to know this, especially so young, that it's just acting. It's just acting. And, you know, you have to, and what I am very glad I'm able to do is, I'm not really a method actor, so when, you know, the cut ends, you know, I'm very glad I'm able to separate, you know, on the filming stuff with, you know, just having fun behind the scenes, you know, and not really like you getting too serious unless, you know, we're on a time crunch. Oh boy, yeah, I know quite a lot about time crunches. You know, for behind schedule, that's always a problem. But if we're on schedule, you know, it's about having fun. Acting should always be about having fun and enjoying what you do. It should never, you know, if you don't, like, at the end of the day, if you don't like what you're doing, and this is with anything, it probably is best to look for something else in the meantime, because, you know, especially with acting, if you don't really enjoy acting, it will show on screen. It will show on screen. And, you know, it's so important that when you're filming, you know, you just really, you take the time to know your lines, project them how you want to, you know, that's fitting for you, but also the director, the producers, because they all play such a big part in it all. And I really, you know, and Andy just being such an amazing director also helped me so much with that too. And, you know, with, like, you know, just being scared, I try to project that on screen, which a lot of people think I did well. And, you know, but behind the scenes, it was more like me and Bill Skarsgård, who play Pennywise, we literally, because I was so young, but we literally cracked poop jokes.
Yeah,
like,
right,
no, yeah,
right.
like, it was so fun. And I'm able, I still am, but when I was like that young, I was able to, you know, understand real from fake.
Right.
And especially, you know, because they weren't trying to give me nightmares. That wasn't their problem. A kid at that age should be able, if they get into acting, they should know how to act, 100%. You know, I think that I try my best with that, and that plays a big part. My parents just being like, all right, Jackson, this isn't real. And that's why I loved it so much, and I was able to take it all in, is because there was never a moment where I was scared. There was moments when I was cold, like when I was chasing after the boat. Oh my gosh, the rain machine's so cold. I bet you could find photos online of me wrapped in a towel with my raincoat on, because it was cold. But there was never a moment where I felt scared or unsafe, because it was such a warm and like family environment where everyone was like trying to make it as fun and kind as possible, especially for me being at such a young age, because
Third job?
yeah, no one was trying to like scar me for life, that wasn't their main goal. Their main goal was to make an amazing horror movie, and they did by it being the highest grossing horror film of all time.
I like how he low-key slipped that one in there.
No, yeah. Just a little far
little humble brag there.
flex.
Still flex.
But yeah, and when it comes to just being scared, I wasn't really, because then again, I'm just repeating myself here, but to answer your question without yapping so much, it's just because no one was trying to scare me.
Yeah.
It was supposed to, you're supposed to act.
Right.
And everyone did a good job, especially my parents, of helping me separate the scary stuff with not real and the reality of which is the fun of acting.
Yeah. It's really important to separate that art from the reality.
For sure.
As an actor.
It can get, with method roles, it can get unhealthy. It can get actually unhealthy. So many people that are method actors, they could be really, really good, and at the end of the day, if that's what they want to do, to like really get into a role, and it shows, amazing. I'm very glad that they are able to project that. Like Christian Bale, oh my gosh, he's like my favorite actor. He's such a good method actor. But at the same time, if you look at it from a health standpoint, like some of his roles...
Oh, The Machinist?
Yeah, those cannot be healthy. They're not healthy. Obviously, he's not trying to kill himself, but it's definitely not probably the healthiest. So I'm very glad that I'm able to, flip the switch on and off, which my mom definitely helped me with a lot, But yeah.
Your mom didn't want a little Jared Leto.
No. Little Morbius.
Everybody knows the Morbius story.
Yeah.
I love it. Question in the back.
So, since you've made it, have you seen the 1990 version, and what were your thoughts about that?
I have seen it, and I thought it was great, Obviously, of course, it's gonna be a little dated, it was made a long time ago. But from a standpoint, I can see why so many people were afraid of it. But I felt like the new one, obviously I'm biased, so sorry guys, but personally, I enjoyed the original more. I know, sorry guys.
Wait, you like the original more? Is that what you said?
Oh, I meant
the
the one I'm in.
It's like, I like mine so much, it's now the original.
With the OG, I can tell why so many people love it so much, because it really holds that element. But then again, I feel like the new one was more scarier, and obviously everyone has their own opinions and they're entitled to them 100%. That's just mine. Please don't get mad at me.
I would tend to agree, because I am not a horror movie fan at all. Like, I am chicken with a capital C. And I watched the original. It never bothered me once. Like, I just remember Parker Lewis Can't Lose was in it. And
exactly. Like, they didn't even show...
No,
they didn't show it.
No.
The arm being bit off.
When they showed that in the new one, I'm like, oh my, what is happening?
It was made for TV, remember?
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
So
exactly.
You were a little more unfettered having, a movie that could be rated
for sure. Andy made his dark twist on it, which definitely made it so awesome to watch. But also added moments of light and the comedy, comedic relief, with the Losers Club.
Yep.
It just made it such a special watch, because it wasn't all about scaring the audience, which it definitely did. But for the not so horror, like, geeks and, that love horror so much, it was also a good, like, movie to see, like, a bunch of, like, your friends from school,
Yeah.
Like, I still watch it to this day, like, my friends. Obviously, it's because I'm in it, but my friends will look like, yo, let's watch it, let's turn on it. And like, for, like, the seventh sleepover in a row. And I'll be like, all right, guys, let's do it. But the specialty about it is it was for everyone, and it was a special thing, and Andy did such a great job with it, and honestly, I think it was just perfect, and I think, my opinion, I think it's better than Chapter 2, and but just because, like, I felt like there was more chemistry. All of them are adults. I don't know. Obviously, I was in Chapter 2 for one scene, so obviously I don't know the chemistry they all had really. But from what I know, those guys, like some of the kids, they live in an apartment together. Like those guys, those guys are still so close to this day, and I think that that is something really special. Really, really special.
Love it.
And I feel like you definitely should see it on the screen, 100%.
All right, got a question over here. I got a microphone there for you.
Hello!
What's it like to be on Criminal Minds? That's one of my
Oh my
favorite
goodness.
shows.
Alright. Well, from what I remember, of course, because I was 5, maybe 6, okay, so this part of my life, right? This is my second thing I've ever done. So excited. And I do remember parts of it. And I remember, it being obviously a big set, a big production, I should say, not set, because they were all filmed not in like a soundstage. And I remember just, having so much fun and watching the other, because this was like, the first thing I ever did was a Kate Jewelers commercial. So there wasn't much act. It was more, I have a ring for you, or like, I'm gonna put a necklace on you, and that wasn't really acting. I mean, but Criminal Minds was the first time I actually saw people acting. And I was so mesmerized by it, because, I'm gonna be honest, forgot their names, but because it was so long ago. But I remember being so infatuated by how they deliver their lines, and really just how good they are, because I really believed it, And when I acted, too, obviously being so young, I'd have to watch it again. It's been a while since I've watched that episode, it was just such a fun very first. It was a great experience just to like start out, because with this it was like I was getting my my training wheels officially off from Kate Jewelers, actually like knowing how to be on a set. This was like officially my first test drive with the training wheels off, which really, I think, really helped me with it. And was able to really set me apart from the other kids who auditioned, because I knew what I was doing, finally. Like for the Kate Jewelers commercial, what I did when I was, auditioning, how I got it was I was just making a bunch of random like car noises, like beep beep, like that's all I did. So but what Kate Jewelers taught me is how to act on set. And what happened was when I moved on to Criminal Minds, I learned how to genuinely act for the first time, because Kate Jewelers wasn't really acting, I was making noises. But Criminal Minds was my first, I was really acting. And it totally helped, and it just like with my acting career in total, it was just this big domino effect of just role after role, trying to, perfect, this craft, which is never perfect. Everyone has their own acting style, and it's just about can you perfect your own style. And with Criminal Minds, I just, it was just such a great experience, because everyone, again, was super nice. And it being a dark episode, I didn't even know it was a dark episode until I watched it. I was like, yo, my on-screen dad did that to that kid? I was like, dang! Because they were in a biker gang, you know, and, you know, he wanted out. I do remember that, though. But, you know, it was just such this, you know, surreal experience because I was acting for the first time, and I did so many things. It was just this great experience, and I really loved it. And I met a lot of people that now I realize were like supposed to be like really big on the show. And I look back and I was like, oh, I saw those people, but like I didn't really know that they were like a part of it. I thought apologize, but the bald black guy who plays. Yes.
I get mixed up with him all the time.
I thought he was an extra. And then I look back and I'm like, oh my god, what the heck? I was like, what the? And, you know, because I was so young and I didn't know anything about Criminal Minds. I was watching Bubble Guppies and, you know, Ni Hao Kai Lan. Like, I wasn't watching, you know, Criminal Minds. And I look back, you know, and I'm like, what the heck? And I think that makes it so much more special is because I wasn't really starstruck by anyone. And I don't think I've really ever been starstruck. Except for one time, it was when I met Chris Pratt. That was very, very starstruck. And I was just like, oh my god. Because in that time, I just watched Jurassic World. Love dinosaurs. I still do. I have like fossils in my room. It's so awesome.
He calls them blue.
Yeah, and you know, that was the only time I really ever got starstruck. But, you know, being on these films, you know, being acting, you know, never want to, in my opinion, I don't think it's really, unless you get over it quick, if you get starstruck, you know, you're probably going to be like acting a little bit different because you want to, you know, either, you know, show this actor that you love so much that, you know, you're awesome, or, you know, if you can just switch it off after. It's always good to, you know, let people know, especially like this is any celebrity, just, you know, show them, you know, how like, and if they do a good job in something, and this is with anything, it doesn't just have to be celebrities or actors, it could literally just be, like for me, my teachers, if, you know, they show you something of value, it is so important to thank people. It could be literally anyone walking through the door. Kindness does not cost anything, and I say this every day. Kindness does not cost anything, and I think it's one of the blessings about this world. You know, and no, yeah. So.
I love that he just did the Canadian thing and said, no, yeah. You're not even Canadian at all, are you?
Well, I lived in Toronto for 2 years. So.
Well, that makes sense. He's definitely sounding like a Toronto boy right there.
Oh, yeah.
I think we come to the end of our time because I see the next panel coming.
That was it?
I know, it goes so quick.
Goodness.
Folks, did you have a fun time here with Jackson Scott? Let's hear it.
Sorry, guys. Oh, my
Sorry,
goodness.
that's amazing.
I mean, does anyone else have, like, any other questions they want to ask, or is that it? Raise your hand now for everyone, please. What's up?
Are you still endorsed by K Jewelers? Because I've never heard anyone mention K Jewelers as many times as I did it in my life, 30 minutes before. Like.
No, yeah, you know, I'm not endorsed by K Jewelers. If I ever get married, hopefully I can reach out and be like, hey, remember me when I was 5? And, you know, maybe get a discount, maybe, if I find the one. But no, I'm not. Did you have one?
Yeah, I was just on the side. Was there any pranks, and could you tell us about a best prank moment?
Oh, that's great to ask him a 10-minute question with 3 minutes left. No, I'm kidding.
No, okay, I'll explain it. There was one prank that I did, and it was on my mom, and it was when I had the fake arm, and I put it on in my trailer, and I was like, Mom! She was like, oh my god! And I was like, I'm just kidding. And it goes off. And yeah, so that was the one prank. So yeah.
That is why it's rough having boys, if you were a mom.
No, yeah.
This mom over here is like, yes, it is. He's like, yeah, Mom.
Alright, how many questions are we good?
Absolutely, let's hear it. One more time. Scott Dixon.
Thank you guys so much for listening to me yap about my life for like how many minutes?
25.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, if you want to talk to me more, come to my booth.
Go see him at his booth. Folks, go see him
Alright,
at
I'll
his
let you
booth.
guys speak.